Everybody's here to talk about gender issues from a panoply of different perspectives.
We've always been focused on supporting reporting that digs beneath the surface to uncover the root causes of crises that do make the headlines. As a result, gender issues have consistently cut across so much of our reporting since our earliest days.
Just bringing people together to have these types of conversations and meet one another and build together and really see the ways that their work is connected.
I think it helps keep topics like diversity top of mind, and the only way we are ever going to solve the issues that we as journalists have with not having a diverse enough workforce and not having, quoting, diverse enough sources in our stories, the only way we're ever going to solve that is to keep it top of mind and then to take action on it.
It takes lots of different approaches to appeal to different parts of an audience, and that it takes lots of different approaches to tell the complete story. So the very story that the journalists are being trained to and want to tell as a result of being affiliated with the Pulitzer Center really does take knowing all of these different levels of activists and of participants and of advocates.
Girl Be Heard develops, amplifies, and celebrates the voices of young women through socially conscious theater making.
We were given articles from the Pulitzer Center's website, and we were told to create pieces of theater based on whatever article that we chose.
The journey back to Italy would take 2.5 days. I walked around the ship, stepping over sprawled limbs and torsos, and speaking to migrants about why they'd left home. Most of them came from West Africa. They were eager to talk about the horrors they had endured in Libya, but on the lower deck, I noticed a group of teenage Nigerian girls sitting together in silence. I sat down nearby and I struck up conversation with one of them, a girl named Blessing.
I'm turning cold and I don't know how long until the suffering stops. A beloved daughter who my mama calls Blessing. And she calls me Blessing while my captors are cursing my life. My name is Blessing, but I am still trying to find mine. They call me Blessing.
Blessing, blessing, blessing.
When we talk about using gender as a lens, we're not talking about putting a bias on your story, but rather improving the way that you see the world so that you can see the reality of how the world looks like.
The idea that we can focus on gender and race as a kind of dynamic to the creative generation of work seems to be important, and I think these kind of gatherings lend themselves to those kinds of conversations. So I think it's important, and I think it's exciting that this is happening.
When you're talking about creating a group of people to report on a story, looking at how diverse that group is, looking around the room and saying, do we have everyone in this room to properly report out this story for our audience?
It's wonderful to have so many of our journalist grantees in the room, so many of our news media and education partners, and also all of you who may be joining the Pulitzer community for the first time today.
We live in this weird industry where we're dispersed throughout the world, so there are journalists here who are based in Iraq and Turkey and East Africa and Southeast Asia, so it's nice to have everyone in one place. I think solidarity is an important thing when you work in a stressful, fractured business, and given that we're all linked through this organization, it's nice to see everyone.